Hi guys, it's another beautiful day here in Maryland to be working outside. I am finishing up all of my mulch prepping. We're having mulch delivered on Saturday and going to get that all put down. So I've been going through and cutting back all of my perennials. I have been weeding, and today I am fertilizing. I keep my fertilizing very simple. I just use this plant tone as you saw me spreading into my main flower border over here. This is just a really good all-purpose fertilizer for pretty much anything. You can get much more specific, especially with this Espoma line. They have like a rose tone that you can use on your roses, and they have a holly tone that you can use on your more acid-loving plants like azaleas and rhododendrons, things like that. But you can also just stick with this plant tone, which is just a general all-purpose fertilizer. So usually I get a really big bag of this at my local hardware store, but didn't find that this year, unfortunately. So I just got these 2 small bags from Home Depot, which I think were a little bit more expensive. So I'm really gonna try to stretch my budget today and only do what I feel really needs done. So things that are a little bit newer. I'm not going to worry about some of my larger shrubs. Like I didn't even bother doing my Rose of Sharon over here because they're so big, and I really think that they'll be okay without any fertilizer. I think they can probably hold their own. I probably will sprinkle some along my boxwood hedge here, and I really don't have too many perennials in this bed to my right. I have some hydrangeas that I will definitely be doing, and I will not do anything that really doesn't like to be fertilized, like Russian sage, my catmint, any sedum that I have. Those things just like to be left alone. They like really poor soil. So whatever I can't get to with these 2 bags is just gonna have to be okay. I'm just gonna let it go, and I think that they will all survive for a season. So I'm gonna keep spreading this fertilizer and get this job done. It really shouldn't take me too long at all to do this. I'm not being too specific about this. I'm just spreading a little bit over top of each boxwood. And we're supposed to get rain in a couple of days, so that will water it in really nicely, and then the mulch that we put on top will seal it in. And I have a bunch of tulips coming up back here and some allium, but I'm not gonna bother fertilizing any of those. The tulips are short-lived. The alliums will be just fine. And I also have some anemone back there, but I am planning on moving those. So I'm not even gonna bother fertilizing those. I have some salvia back in here as well that is actually coming back for me this year. It's the Mystic Spires Blue Salvia right in here. I see one that may not be coming back. Actually, no, I think it is. Oh, that's exciting. Last year they all died. So that's really exciting to see. But salvia generally do not love to be overly fertilized either. So I'm just gonna leave that alone and keep on going with my boxwood. Hydrangeas love fertilizer, so give those a lot. These are all winter gem boxwood. I still have the tag on every single one of them. I really think I need to cut those off now. It's about time. I see some daffodils starting to open up. That's exciting. That's happened almost overnight. Things are really gonna be popping soon here. Oh, and a bee. It's the first time I saw a bee. I don't have too many shrubs and perennials in this shadier border yet, So I'm just doing my Annabelle hydrangeas, and really I just have 2 Japanese forest grass plants right here. I'll give them a little bit. And last year I just had a big swath of impatiens in this area. So I'll give them some slow release fertilizer when I put them in again this year, and that'll take care of them. Oh, and I do have 2 clematis at the base of each obelisk, so I'll just spread some where they are. I actually planted this hellebore yesterday. I kind of forgot to show you in my last video about them. I've had them sitting around for months. I picked them up on clearance right after Christmas time at Home Depot. So there's 3 of them. There's 3 white ones. So I'm gonna give them some. My one in the back here is looking really sad. It was really struggling, and any of the stems that it did have broke off, but I do see new shoots coming out of the base of it, so I'm hoping that it'll be okay. And pretty much in this bed, I just have a mixture of hosta. I have some fern and some heuchera, a bunch of daffodils, crocus that the rabbits have nibbled off completely. I know I have a lily back in there and an anemone back in there somewhere. So I'm just kind of I'm gonna try to be a little meticulous. Some people will just broadcast spread their fertilizer, and that's fine. But because I'm trying to preserve mine, I'm gonna try to just go where I know the different perennials are located. Over here in my holly bed, I don't think I'm gonna do any fertilizing because I have sedum right there, and then I have some random perennials in here, but I may move these around this year. So I may, give them some fertilizer at that time, but I think I'm gonna leave this side alone. And then I will come over here where these sweet talker viburnum are, and I will give these 3 some fertilizer since I just put those in last year. Coming right outside of my gate here, I have these 2 incredible hydrangeas on either side that I will definitely fertilize. And then, excuse the mess, we're in the process of fixing this whole area from the gas meter that we had installed. I will not fertilize this big loropetalum or this old Weigelia that we had to completely cut back, or that loropetalum down there. So I'm just gonna do the hydrangeas quick. I think I have some anemone. Yeah, I have anemone and hydrangeas at the corner of the porch that I'm gonna give fertilizer as well. If there is a lot of mulch around the plant, I will go in and just try to comb a little bit of that back so that the fertilizer can have some good contact right to the soil. So as you can see, I really don't follow the directions on the back of the packaging. I'm just generously sprinkling around the base of the plant, around the drip line, and that's it. I got all of my hydrangeas fertilized, and then I have some heuchera here that I will fertilize, and lamb's ear I don't even think really needs fertilized. And then I have the Nandina that I won't bother with, and I do have some hosta in here that I am planning on moving, so I'm not going to do that. And a bunch of tulips, which I'm really bummed. I haven't had this happen to me before, but I have like a complete bare spot right there where there are no tulips coming up. So I'm really disappointed with that this year. Other years it's been nice and full, so I'm not really sure what happened, but I am going to give that boxwood back there some fertilizer. These 3 I may leave alone because I may actually be moving them, big surprise, over here. So now I'm over in my redbud bed. This is a Merlot redbud, and I have these 5 grasses right along the walkway here that I am going to give some fertilizer, and I'll do my baby blue globe spruce, and then I have 3 of these boxwood along the edge, a hydrangea right there. These 3 roses I will definitely give fertilizer. The allium do not need it, they don't like it. And then I'll fertilize my daisies, and I may give my holly some since it's still pretty small. I'll probably give my rhododendrons some because they look like they might be struggling a little bit with the yellowing leaves there. So I'll give them some, not the sedum, and then I have that rhododendron. And then that will be it. We'll be all done fertilizing. Well, I am exhausted. That was a long afternoon, but I have everything done that I wanted to get done, and I was very impressed that I ended up fertilizing my very last thing with the very last little bit that I had of my second bag. So I'm glad that I could make that all happen. I only do this once a year, no more, and really the only things that I didn't get to for mulch prep were moving some perennials around. That it's nice to be able to do that before you mulch so that you're not kicking up the mulch, but in reality it's just too hard to get done. So I still have some things that I want to move around, and of course there will be some planting to do in the future, so I will just probably buy a few bags of mulch here and there just to touch up the areas that I mess up with all of my digging. But besides that, I think that we are pretty good to go. So let me know, are you guys mulching yet? What's your usual routine with mulching? And edging is another thing that we usually try to do, which we usually rent a trencher to do our edging. I don't know if we're going to do that this year. We could probably skip a year with that. So that's all of our steps to get ready for mulching. I hope that y'all are doing well, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.